I just got a mouthful of coffee grounds. Hi, good morning. I tried recording this video once and I just felt like my forehead looked too orange and I looked pregnant in the face, kind of like I do now, but like it was really weird. So today's video is a story time. Yes, we're taking it all the way back, and honey, it is just full of the most annoying tenants that live below me, and I know they can probably hear me, and in that case. So, October of 2020 was when my life took a turn for the worse. I remember like it was yesterday, says every storytime YouTuber. Dan came back home from a soccer practice. He is a soccer coach, for those of you who don't know. He comes in and he tells me, have you met the new neighbors yet? By the way, my husband's also Serbian, so he has a heavy accent. Asks me about the new neighbors. And for some reason, when he asked me that, I just felt like a pit in my stomach just went right down to my bunghole. I don't know. I don't know if it's women's intuition. I don't know if Mercury was in retrograde. So I go, no, I have not met the new neighbors. He proceeded to tell me about his interesting encounter with the tenants that were moving in below us. Apparently, when he was getting his equipment from his car, he ran into one of the tenants. So when the female tenant saw Dan for the very first time, she had the same reaction that most of us have. She goes, damn, you a fine white boy. And so her boyfriend was also there with her at the time, and he started commenting on how attractive Dan was, and they were going back and forth, and then it somehow escalated to them making out with each other right in front of Dan. So he did say though that they were not the most sober of people, and this is not me casting a judgment because court is not in session, but for some reason I was banking this information in the back of my head, and I knew for some reason that this was going to be important. Fast forward to that night, you know, I'm doing my skincare, putting my hair bonnet on because, you know, we're trying to keep the hair layeth at all times. And Dan and I were laying side by side as husband and wife do. I don't fucking know. We're getting ready to go to bed, and literally as we're trying to sleep that night, we hear the tenants below us. Now, I will preface this by saying we live in an apartment where the walls are so freaking thin. Like, I remember I heard one of my old neighbors having morning sickness, and I felt so bad for her. Also, I was scarred. Okay, it got really hot and I had to remove the robe. Anyways, so we realized how thin the walls are in this outdated apartment, and literally that night as we were trying to fall asleep, we hear the tenants below us getting in a full-blown argument about Dan. It literally was an argument about how he felt emasculated by his girlfriend because she's always checking out other guys, whoop whoop whoop, and she was like, it's not even like that though. And this was going on for hours. Mind you, this guy has a super deep voice. Like, imagine Morgan Freeman right in your ear. Like, you could hear that. Like, I did not need to hear his deep voice while I was trying to fall asleep, and it was so hard for us. And I kid you not when I tell you this argument was going on for hours. It was going on for hours. I'm talking about from like nighttime to like 3 a.m. It was freaking ridiculous. Soon after that, it would just become a regular thing where they would constantly argue, and they would argue about the dumbest things. I remember one time they were blasting music, having a full-blown frat party, and Mariah Carey was playing, and I guess she touched the radio, and he got so pissed that he was like, don't ever touch my radio, and he was just yelling at her. And then they got in an argument as to whether or not Mariah Carey was an icon. I wish I was lying to you. I could hear every single one of their arguments, so much so that I felt like I was a part of the relationship. Unfortunately, them arguing super freaking loud would happen throughout the day, throughout the night. Them blasting music throughout the day and throughout the night would literally happen so often that it was so disruptive. Like, Dan and I could not sleep. I was super anxious. I wasn't able to record YouTube videos because whenever I would record, you would hear the sound and the music in the background. It was so bad that I knew exactly the type of music, the exact song that they were playing. And I will have to say that this man has great range in music, because from 1 minute it would be Aaliyah Rock the Boat and Beyonce's Irreplaceable to Selena's Abidi Bidi Bam Bam and Dreaming of You, which I have come to realize is his absolute favorite. Why do I know these things? I don't know. I also know that he doesn't like pasta, noodles are questionable, and he doesn't mind pad thai. How do I know this? Because I can hear every single one of his conversations. I wish I was lying to you guys, but I'm not. That's how loud these people are. That's how obnoxious these people are. Oh my god. And when he's playing video games, my soul leaves my body. He is yelling, he is yelping. Like, I know the exact time when his character dies because he literally starts yelling obscenities and he's like jumping up and down, and you could just hear every single thing. And as someone who has PTSD from certain things that I will not disclose, loud angry males yelling obscenities is a really bad trigger for me. So I hate having that. Being in my own apartment with Dan, obviously, is such a huge privilege and something that I pride myself on, because I love the fact that I have my own space and I can, you know, wake up in the morning, meditate, work out, and do all these things. I think it's such a huge privilege. And to not be able to enjoy my home, that really... that activated me to full Karen mode. And I'm talking about the Karen that doesn't want to wear a mask in the middle of a Target. So I contacted the rental property and I wrote a strongly worded email about just everything that was going on and that I was sick and tired of it, and if they could notify the tenants to just keep it down, that would be great. I know you're probably like, why didn't you confront them? Why didn't you talk to them in the first place? After hearing this man's encounter and his demeanor, he just didn't seem like he was the most sober and reasonable person. And I also say that because I overheard him having another conversation with a friend about how they want to inhale the Coca-Cola together. Like I said, I'm not posting judgment, but judging from his pattern of behavior and the things that I've literally heard, I don't want to put myself in a position where I am in danger, and I don't want to have to put Dan in a position where he feels like he has to handle something because of his craziness. And also, you never know what people are capable of, especially in this day and age, so I'm not just gonna put us at risk. So we contact the rental office, they send him a notification, and for a little bit, it was actually kind of quiet. And just when I thought the craziness was over, it got worse. Remember how I mentioned the tenant downstairs? They were a couple. Well, apparently I think they broke up. It went from hearing her and him to hearing him and another male down below, and I guess he got a roommate. Apparently he also likes to blast music as well. So two people living downstairs, going at it, having a full-blown concert, sometimes most of the time going on tour, while I'm trying to record a YouTube video, while I'm trying to sleep, while I'm just trying to enjoy my home. You would think that the tenants, after getting the first notice, they would stop, but no. They are as resilient as my eczema in the summertime. Yep, I said it. From then on, I started keeping documentation, videos, timestamps. I went Viola Davis on this, okay? Because I am no lawyer, but I know that as a tenant, I have certain rights. And in the state and county that I live in, there's a Quiet of Enjoyment Act that is actually in your lease that when you sign, basically stating that you are allowed to have a certain amount of peace and you're not to be disrupted between a certain time. You have to uphold that as a tenant. The other tenants in the building have to upload it, and so does the leasing office. Now, the reason why I kept writing in emails, oh, by the way, every time the tenants would make noise, I would literally record it. I would note it down in my notes. I would let the leasing office know. And the reason why I wanted to have written complaints is because in case it has to get legal, there is written evidence. Things were getting so freaking bad that I had to call the cops, the non-emergency hotline. It was just getting to the point where I was so anxious when I would wake up in the morning because all I would hear is them. And even when I would put in my AirPods and I would put in my headphones, I would still freaking hear them. It was literally like walking through the dorms of a college. So at this point, I was just getting fed up and I went ham. I went hammock. So I let the rental office know that, hey, I'm gonna take things legal on my end. When I brought up the legal aspect on my end, the leasing office decided to lay the hammer on the tenant. And apparently, according to Mr. Dejan, my informant, he was telling me that the tenant got a call late at night about if he didn't keep the noise down, they were gonna kick him out. And Dan knew about this phone call because the tenant decided it was common sense and logical to take this phone call out into the lobby. So Dan heard everything. After that lovely phone call that the tenant got on, apparently he started going door to door asking people if they reported him to the leasing office. And he shouldn't be doing that because that constitutes as harassment, and that is not okay. When he got to our door, Dan had to pretend that he wasn't home, because that guy was off one. Dan could hear the conversations he was having, and our family friend literally passed by this guy, and he stopped him and was like, hey, are you the one reporting me to the leasing office? And our family friend goes, no. He's also Serbian. And the guy noted that his eyes were bloodshot red. And it doesn't seem like this guy is sober most of the time, which again, I'm not passing judgment. I just don't like fronting people like this because you never know like what he could do. He just doesn't seem like a good character to be involved with. After knocking on our door, Dan pretending not being home, the guy went away. The following day, this human being comes to our door at like 10 a.m. knocks on our door, asks Dan, hey, are you the one reporting me? And Dan is like, no, we're not reporting you. Oh wait, I have to do the accent. No, we're not reporting you to the office. And so the guy's going on about like, yeah man, you know, I just want to play my music. Imagine me saying this, but like imagine Morgan Freeman narrating this with a much deeper voice. I just want to have a good time. I just want to play, you know, my music. I just want to watch the Terminator. Like I was watching the Terminator last night, you know what I mean? Every time this man laughs, you can feel it. You can feel it through the floor. You can feel the vibrations to the floor because that's how deep his voice is. A couple hours later, all I hear is, hey yo upstairs, I know you hear me. Imagine me sitting at the corner of my couch and I'm hearing somebody call upstairs to me and I'm so confused. And then this man goes, I know you've been reporting me for being loud. If you about it, come here to my front door. Stomp down if you fucking hear me. Stomp down if you fucking hear me. Motherfucker, I'm gonna blow your shit up. I'm gonna blow your fucking shit up. Now, I ain't even gonna hold you. Mama ain't raised no bitch, okay? Oh, it's the people upstairs. I'm gonna shit my pants a little bit. My mom has always told me, you know, with things like this, you never want to confront somebody. So what did I do? I called the rental office because this guy was like threatening to blow our shit up. I just didn't feel safe. So I notified Dan because Dan wasn't in the house at that time. He went upstairs to our family friends and I let him know, hey, this is what's happening. We went to the rental office. The rental office called the cops and technically they couldn't really do much because something about not really actively having that tangible evidence, even though with the 12 pages of noise complaints that I have and the amounts of emails, they couldn't really do anything in that given moment in time. After that, for a while, honestly, it had been quiet and we hadn't heard much, but I still didn't feel safe. And Dan has to keep escorting me to my car. I carry a pepper spray. I have my taser on me. It had gotten to the point where like I was having really bad nightmares about being attacked by this neighbor because it was just too much. And I know this seems dramatic, but like when you have a place that's your home and then all of a sudden like you can't do what you love, you can't even sleep. Like I wasn't even able to function peacefully and it was just really ruining my days. It was ruining my mood. It's just like to still continue and be that disruptive, you're a fucked up person and you're not a great human being. Fast forward a couple of days because that quiet obviously did not happen for so long. I think this man was severely heartbroken because the music he was playing, how loud he was playing it, and what he was saying in between, it was very clear that he was on a heartbreak tour. And so literally this man starts playing Selena, like he kept replaying Dreaming of You over and over again. And let me tell you, I fucking love Selena, okay? Selena's forever, okay? She is that chick. But to hear this man butcher Dreaming of You and Como la Flor, this man would play Dreaming of You and other heartbreak songs, and in the middle of every song it would be like, yeah, no, fuck that bitch, fuck that bitch. And he was just going on and on for hours, and at this point I had had enough. I made up in my mind that every time he was obnoxious and loud, back to back, I will call the cops. I called the cops the first time. I called the cops, made an anonymous complaint to the non-emergency hotline, and one cop shows up and he, you know, knocks on the door and it's just like, hey, we're getting noise complaints for your neighbors. Can you just keep it down a little bit, you know, keep it down? And this guy goes, oh, my bad. I didn't even know. I was just watching a movie. It wasn't music. I was just watching a movie and yeah, my bad, officers. Oh, by the way, I love your mask, man. I love your mask. All I could think of was, you brown-nosing motherfucker. I was so freaking pissed because this guy was lying and brown-nosing, like nose all the way up the police officer's booty hole that he could see the officer's esophagus. The officer left. And guess who starts bumping and grinding and como la flor and a bitty bitty bum bang away. So I went into full Karen mode, called them again, said hello, yep, still happening, I can't sleep. And they come by again and, you know, he's telling him, hey, we got another call, just please keep it down, stop playing the music, stop playing it. And the guy was just like, oh no, I'm not playing music, but like I'm just trying to work out, you know, and like I'm a loud person and you know, people tell me that all the time and I'm really trying to keep it down, like I'm really sorry. And then again, being a brown noser, the officers leave and for a couple of minutes I breathed, whatever, a sigh of relief, and then the shit starts up again. I mean, a bitty bitty bum bum, dreaming of you, como la flor, all the things. Now mind you, this loud music, it was like 12 a.m. coupled with poorly pitched and unharmonious singing, and you can tell they were drunk because of the singing turned into yodeling. So I called the cops again. Is this like the third time? Now the same cops showed up, and the third time they were pissed. They were so freaking upset, and I love that for me. And this time when they came in, by the way, Dan and I were literally looking through the keyhole every time the cops would come by, and we were just like listening to everything that was going on. And this time when the cops showed up, they stood in the lobby to see if they could hear the music and everything. And wouldn't you know it, homeboy was going on his heartbreak tour with the police right there, and it was immaculate chef's kiss, just everything I wanted and hoped for. And when they knocked on the door, homeboy couldn't lie his way out of this one. The cops left, and then after like 20 minutes, we start hearing como la flor. Silence. Tanto amor. Silence. Me diste tú. They started singing Selena's a cappella. And bitch, I called the cops again. Let them know what's up. And this time, more than 2 cops showed up and knocked on his door and let him know, you need to chill. And the guy was like, damn, you guys again? I'm literally just here on my Kindle. I'm not doing anything. I'm not making any noise. I'm being super quiet. And in the same breath, he goes, you know, like my voice is just very deep, it's very loud, a lot of people have told me that, blah 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 blah. So the cops were trying to reason with him and say, hey, like you need to stop doing this because we really are gonna arrest you and we don't want to do that, blah 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 blah. After that night, after calling the cops so many times, it was quiet for a while. And then a couple days later I guess homeboy and his girlfriend reunited, because that night when Dan and I tried to go to sleep, we heard them having a full-blown conversation about the most random thing. And then that conversation turned to them talking about their relationship. Apparently they were trying to get things back together. Why do I know this much about their relationship? They were talking about their relationship. She was just feeling down because like all she wanted from him was for him to hold her. And literally they were having this conversation from before 12 a.m. to after 6 a.m. Over 6 hours of having a conversation about her wanting to be held by him begging her to stay, and it was just so fucking annoying. Every couple of hours I would like punch our floor, which was their ceiling, to signify, hey, maybe you should shut the fuck up and go to couples therapy. And every once in a while they'd be quiet and then they would start up again. And Dan got to the point where he was so fed up, and this is how you know Dan was super pissed, because in order for him to physically react, he has to be at the end of his rope. We were trying to sleep, we could literally hear both of them clearly, and Dan got so freaking pissed that he literally Thanos punched the ground. And from then on, we haven't heard the tenants since. We haven't heard them. I don't know if they moved out. I don't know if they got evicted. I don't know. Either way, they have been quiet, but unfortunately, I personally don't feel safe in this apartment. After everything, like, I know it sounds dramatic, but imagine trying to fall asleep at 5 a.m. because you weren't able to fall asleep from the hours before because you keep hearing people talk, you keep hearing loud music, you keep hearing your neighbors sing if it's up, then it's Stuck by Cardi B, which is a bumping song, but not at 5 a.m. Imagine hearing all of this every single day. And it made me wonder, like, when do you sleep, sir? When do you sleep? When do you shower? When do you do anything besides listen to music and play video games? So that's my story time with my unfortunate downstairs neighbor. I can't believe I was threatened to be blown up. And I can't believe that I have to carry a pepper spray and taser to and from my car. I mean, I do that anyways because people are insane in the world, but like, still. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. Did you ask for this? Some of you did, so I gave it to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to follow me on the gram. I also have a TikTok now. I posted one video. It's kind of cringe. I'm thinking about deleting it, but go ahead. Follow me on the gram. Subscribe to my channel so I can quit my day job, and bye guys. Peace.